What is going on, guys? Josiah LaRue here, and today we're going to be talking about more of some of the best products coming out of CES 2017. So let's do this. Yeah, today we're talking about more of the best products coming out of CES 2017. This is part 2 of the series and probably my final part. I'm going to include links in the description down below if you want to see more, or you can just check any of the other tech channels, MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, Linus Tech Tips, Newegg, or any of the other ones, Paul's Hardware. Tons of guys went out to CES this year. I really wish I could have gone, but I wasn't able to, so I'm doing this review for you guys, but if you want to check out any of the other cool tech coming out this year from CES, check out their channels. So first up, let's talk about NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA has been a giant in the whole graphical processors universe, and definitely one of the biggest competitors in the video graphics card market, not only for consumer but also for professional. But because they've been on top for so long, what they're really doing is focusing on using that graphical and computing power for other sources. In this instance, automation. So they have created Xavier, a new generation of computing and automation. Now, Xavier is an automotive-grade 512-core Volta CPU and GPU combination, and what that massive processor is used for is computing data for automation, particularly in automotives. So what NVIDIA is trying to do is get into the self-driving car market. They already have one of their own working prototypes. They brought a Lincoln Continental car, and they have it hooked up with all of their automated sensors, and they let it just drive around Las Vegas during the show, and it didn't have any problems. They also announced that they're partnering up with Mercedes and Audi to bring fully automated cars in the next couple years. And what they're hoping to do is, using the system that they have, not only is the car already autonomous and smart, but it learns the way that you drive, and it learns the way that other people are driving around it, so it can better learn how to avoid obstacles and problems like this. So what they hope to do is by 2020 have it level 4 autonomous, which means it can completely drive its own, look at speed limits, keep up with traffic, avoid obstacles and problems, and only need a human in extreme circumstances such as super icy conditions or last minute intervention sometimes. Although even nowadays automation is better at split-second reactions than sometimes even a human is in calculating when the force or when the obstacle may occur and quickly applying brakes, but in a controlled manner. So automation is coming, and NVIDIA is leading the forefront on that, and that's really cool to see. Another thing that they announced was NVIDIA GeForce Now. Now, NVIDIA has already been pretty big in the cloud gaming department. They've been talking about this for the last couple of years, but now here's one iteration of it. It's called GeForce Now. Basically what you're doing is you're renting access to high-powered video gaming servers over the internet, and then you rent the servers, and then you can play your games on it and then stream it back to whatever computer you have, whether that's a Mac or PC, netbook, lightweight notebook, stuff that normally doesn't have the hardware to run a AAA normal heavy-powered title right on the machine. You can play it online, and then it'll stream back to you, and you can still have the experience, and you can still play with friends, but it's on a lighter weight computer. So that's pretty cool. Now, the thing is, you're not like renting games. You actually have to buy the game. So if you already have a Steam library, you can link it to it, but all you're doing is you're renting access to the machine. So they say it's going to be $25 for 20 hours, so if you play a lot, that could add up, but if you're just playing every so often, it's a pretty cool way to be able to play on the go or play on a machine that normally couldn't play it. So that'll be very interesting to see how many people actually use it. And the final thing they talked about was home automation and Shield TV. Now, the Shield products have been coming out for the last several years, and last year they introduced the Shield TV, an Android TV box that is also used for streaming gameplay to your television, so you can play over a home network from like a gaming PC in the other room, and then they got their controller and you can play your games on the TV. What this year's iteration brings is HDR content, 4K, and Google Assistant. So not only does it bring high definition content to the box, making it compete with 4K Netflix and other HDR content coming soon, but also they're trying to make it the center hub for Google Assistant and for a home automation setup. So automation in the automotive industry and automation in your home. So the Shield TV is going to be the brains, and they're also introducing some little speaker microphone bundles that are called Google Spots. So the Google Spot is basically just a little ball that you can stick on the wall or on a dresser or anywhere around the house, and it meshes back to the Shield TV as the hub, and it acts as a speaker and a microphone, so you can be anywhere in your house that you have these things and say, Google, do this, turn on the lights, play music, order me something, whatever. And so then you don't have to be right next to your Shield TV or within shouting range of that. It extends your voice network around your home. So pretty cool. These things are going to be coming out in at $50 a piece, so not necessarily the cheapest yet, but it's NVIDIA's way of trying to build a home network mesh. So pretty cool. Next up, let's talk about classic video gaming. Now, in an age where everything is going mainstream, people still like the old classics. And a few months ago when the NES Classic came out, everyone absolutely loved it. Those who had grown up on it loved the ability to have a brand new device that plays those old games, but then can output it with regular connections through HDMI to a regular TV. So that console went over really well, and so now they're applying it to the Game Boy. A company called Retrobit is coming out with the Super Game Boy. Now, this is not officially from Nintendo, but they are making compatible with Nintendo products. So it comes in the form factor of a regular Game Boy, but it's going to play the original Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. So if you have any of those old cartridges, you can plug them in and go ahead and play them on this device. It comes with a 10-hour battery and a shatter-resistant color screen, and it's going to be shipping for only $80. So if you are an old Game Boy fan and you want to play any of your old games, check out the new Super Game Boy from Retro. And finally, let's talk about TVs. TV technology is absolutely amazing. What we didn't necessarily see is a lot of curved TVs this year, but a lot of super high resolution HDR content, as well as very thin displays. Thin is in. Both Samsung and LG came up with displays that are super thin, and then have all of their brains in a separate box, and then you just have one cable going up. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is the LG W7 OLED display. Now, this thing is going to be coming in at 65 and 77 inches. But what's amazing is the panel itself is 2.75 millimeters. That's like 3 credit cards stacked together. Just the display. Super high definition OLED display. They're saying that it's 99% color accuracy, and it's going to be an HDR panel, so super high definition and clarity to be the most precise in replaying whatever content that was originally captured. And despite being 65 inches wide or 77 inches wide, the panel only weighs 16 pounds, which means it can be mounted with very minimal hardware, which is really cool. Another interesting thing is that none of the actual connections are on the panel itself. It has a tiny ribbon cable that runs out the back and down to a large speaker bar. Now, the speaker bar is really the brains of the operation. Not only does it have 3 front-facing speakers and 2 small tweeter speakers that actually rise up when they're in use, and then when you turn the bar off, they slide down, a panel comes over and it covers them. It's really neat to watch. But then all of the connections are in the back, so you can plug in your HDMI, your audio in, your audio out, and optical, Ethernet, and whatever else. All of the connections are on the back of the speaker bar, and then it has a tiny ribbon cable that runs up and into the TV. So not only is it a very smooth, slick, and seamless operation, it looks good from both the bar and the TV display itself. It's an amazing panel to look at. And speaking of color, this thing is OLED, so already great color. It's 99% accurate on colors and blacks and depth. It also supports 4 kinds of HDR content: HDR10, Dolby Vision, Hybrid Log Gamma, and Technicolor HDR. So this display is going to be pretty future-proof in not only its connections and its looks, but also its size and its content. HDR content is just starting to hit the market, so this panel should last for a pretty long time in what it can handle and what it can output. I'm really excited to see how far display technology has come just in the last few years, how these panels are getting smaller and smaller and higher definition and producing sharper colors and clearer and closer to real life accuracy. It's so cool. Now this panel is not going to be cheap. They're saying it's going to come in at around $8,000 for the 65 inch, and the 77 will be more than that, coming out in a couple months. So it's not cheap, but it's definitely the way of the future. So you're getting the cutting edge not only in size but in content availability. So if you can pay for it, you're absolutely going to love it. So yeah guys, that's been some of my top picks from CES 2017. Overall, CES was pretty cool. We expected a lot of it coming into it, but there are definitely some things that are really new and really cool. Like I said, I'm not covering all of the content, but if you want, you should check out guys like Linus Tech Tips, MKBHD, Unbox Therapy, stuff like that. They're going to have way more videos on this stuff because they were actually there on the show floor, and you can learn all sorts of stuff from them as well. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment box down below what were some of your favorite things that I talked about from CES, or anything else that I might have not covered. New televisions, HDR, VR content, technology, or anything else. Let me know in the comment box down below. I'd love to hear what you thought was best out of CES. As always guys, thanks for watching. Remember, you can check out my last part of CES coverage right here. Remember that like and subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my tech coverage or anything else I do on this channel. Check me out on social media. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!